All right. Uh. All right. I will edit later. I really want to make sure this shit loads. Oh, of course, the camera's fucking broken, dog. It always does that shit, bro. Have to like turn it off and back on, right? Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Dude, my hair is all over the place. You know what I have to do? I have to find a way to open up YouTube's chat. All right. Okay, cool. So let me turn this on now because we are going to watch a little bit of Pro League before I do anything else. I want to catch Pro League. Please tell me this still works. Oh, it works. Thank God, it works. All right, cool. Bang. I'm now allowed to co-stream Marvel Rivals' broadcast. Well, damn. I can't even watch it, bro. But like, if me, dude, that's actually kind of rough. I just wanted to watch like a little bit of it. Also, is this? Dude, I don't understand. That's okay. That's theater mode. I just want the chat window though. Like high key. I just want to be able to see the chat window. Which I could probably do this way. Disabled for this live stream. That's okay. That's that chat. Ah, got you. So I still do need this chat after all. Shit. You know what? That works. Perfect. What if I knock to collab with them, but then not be funny? I'm gonna watch a little bit of this and then I'm gonna hop into Rivals. I started to stream last week. I had audio turned off. My error.
In fact, having a look at the standings, we can sort of see that our top 4 teams coming out of Group B are set in stone. Now it becomes a case of who is going where when it comes to seeding, how they're going to play in that first sort of wave of playoff games, whether it's the 4th seed going up against the first of Group A, etc. It's a little bit of bragging rights.
I need to get some water.
You give yourself the easiest path to the grand finals of the grand finals here at Marvel Rivals Ignite.
And you mentioned that Group A. Right now, as everything stands, it's kind of looking like Virtus Pro may be coming out ahead. And I know for Citadel Gaming in particular, that is a team they're going to want to avoid. While they have a lot of experience playing against them, they're still going to want to try and avoid a team that's been playing exceptionally well at this tournament and a team that has given them a lot of trouble in the past.
Yeah, I mean, this game, we were sort of expecting it could be a whimsical one. If OUG managed to get the win over Crazy Raccoon a little bit earlier on, it would have meant that this game was quite literally a qualifying elimination game.
Yeah,
but alas, it wasn't to be the case because Crazy Raccoon made sure that Citadel Gaming had their proven ticket in for playoffs. And it's been a story of 2 very different days for Citadel Gaming. Starting off on day 1, 2-0 up with a nice win over 100 Thieves to really cement their position. But yesterday, going down against Na'Vi and also FlyQuest on some of their most impactful, strongest maps, it was a disaster, really.
But what's important to bring up here is that Citadel, while they struggled on that second day, even that first day is mired in a little bit of struggle, as they so far have not been able to take a series in a 2-0. Every series they have won, they have dropped at least 1 map, and that is why they find themselves so low in the table right now. We've been seeing them get stronger, but it still seems there looks like there's some feeling out issues with this current meta.
Yeah, it seems that like Citadel Gaming, they want to try and make triple strategies work, and what we've seen.
Damn, Marvel has the coach room to get views. Low key, I was thinking the same thing.
Standard comp of 222. FlyQuest still
I was like, why the hell? Like,
showed that it can actually
and the thing, here's the thing, I get it.
So many other teams moving away from it. Citadel.
I get it. I'm very aware that like the majority of his player base is probably like maybe people that just really care about Marvel and like the MCU and want to play as their favorite characters, and not many people want to play this game competitively, but like I just feel like with such a high player base to see such a low, I guess, turnout of esport interested people is kind of unfortunate, honestly.
Actually take it out in a ban or protect draft. Now it seems that there's a lot of teams moving away from the Jeff, but it's something that Tanuki and the rest of Citadel Gaming want to work with. For OUG, I think when it comes to the sort of meta, the ideas, the philosophy, their approach is more of a screw it we ball attitude, because whilst this is the top seed coming in from China, unfortunately you have 3 substitute players coming in to try and represent them. And whilst we've seen the likes of DRP and MASH playing in EMEA for Chop, it's nice to see them
people
here to
that
sort
just
of fill
really
in some of those slots. They have been
probably
an
like
inch away from playoff qualification for quite
maybe
some time and just missing out.
A shout out to our colleagues over in China,
probably
as well,
like
Chinese commentators for Ignite.
maybe people that just really care about Marvel. Probably like
OUG. As once again, like you said, they're missing
probably like
players.
but what
They haven't been able to,
maybe
put
people that just
everyone
really
on the
care
line. They
about
are so close to winning
Marvel and
every
like the
single
MCU and want
time.
to play as
And
their
not
favorite
only do they come
characters,
so close
and
to
not
defeating
many
teams,
people
they come
want
so close to
probably
qualify,
like
because any one of
oh I
those
see
players,
maybe
that could put them in
people
this
that just
situation
really
against
care about
Citadel. But it's alas,
Marvel and
what
like the
could have been.
MCU and want
Right
to
now,
play
though,
as
the
their favorite
important part is,
characters,
can
and
OUG
not many people
continue
want
to show and
to
keep
play this
that
game
pride going forward? China, after
competitively,
such
but
an
like
incredible land performance, and
I just feel like with
spoiler,
such a
Citadel,
high player base to
Citadel
see
get
such
to
a
the point
low,
try and avoid Virtus Pro.
I guess,
Yeah, I think there's a
turnout
lot still
of
for stock, I suppose, for Citadel with this series. You're going up against a
esport
team that wants to try and breeze. You're going up
interested
against a team that
people
wants
is
to try and play
kinda
2-2-2. And if Citadel
kind of
want
a
to keep committing to triple strategist as a philosophy, as an idea, it's a good team to try and play it up against to see exactly what they're going to do. So when it comes to the draft, yeah, most teams are going to try and take
what
out
the fuck
Mantis
did it
first,
just do?
maybe even try to go for a one-sided Mantis. But because we are seeing OUG sort of play more of a 2-2-2 setup, having that character in for DRP or both Dewey can also play that character means that they're going to try and go for that first. Meanwhile,
So is that
Citadel
not
Gaming-
published because I didn't name it? Can I delete it actually?
That can also be a Ken Jeff as well. They've got the flexibility on this
Really,
roster.
like-
They can really mix it up when needed, but we will see the Adam Warlock taken away.
People that
from
just
OUG,
really-
where they started to creep it in themselves. Venom,
Like, low-key, I don't want-
though you don't want to give either Enzo or Polly that Venom, as that backline dive can be extremely difficult to deal with, especially with the anti-heal. Molan currently hovering a little bit of a Psylocke of their own, so perhaps we'll see that kind of dive out of OUG. As Citadel, they're going to take away the massive
Maybe-
rising star character of this land, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, just
I was
one
thinking
of
the same
those
thing.
Characters when it comes to the duelist, like he
I was like,
suits a
damn,
lot of
Marvel
different
has the coach to
compositions
get
now. It
views.
seems that
Low
Loki's
key,
just the most
I was thinking the same
well-rounded,
thing.
most resolute, I think, for duelist. You know, Psylocke
Yeah.
sort of sitting
I was
on
like, why the
positions,
hell,
Tactics,
like-
Star-Lord.
Protection, it's burst, it's everything.
It's always decent, but the protect on the Ember Frost, because it wasn't actually banned out from OUG, means that it sort of balanced itself out. Both teams are wanting to try and
Esport
play it, and certainly when you got OUG
interested
actually
people
banning
is
out the
kinda-
Venom and the Cap, just
kind
making
of
sure that you have
unfortunate,
some option there
honestly.
to work with is a solid one. And the Adam is going to be the final ban for OUG so far.
Alright,
Counter Adams both taken out. Neither team going to be giving that up. Mantis slipping through the ban stage for CTG. OUG could try and protect it in this final spot if they wanted to go for that damage boost, and they do. Mantis all the way from start to finish. OUG picked that up, and now they can still run Psylocke. They can still run a little bit.
bro,
of
why does it
burst
keep
back
saying
and
from
forth.
it's from
While they won't
Destiny,
have
bro?
a
It's
soldier,
not.
There are plenty more options in terms of that quick.
I also need to
defense.
download this clip.
Citadel looks like we're going to be heading over to that Tidal Dirge team up. And Amor being hovered along with the Hela, neither of which being taken away currently.
It would be for the first time. It feels, again, like we sort of were saying that Citadel, with so many teams moving away from triple strategists, that they were the ones, certainly from EMEA, that were still sticking to it, because Na'Vi went more for 2-2, Virtus Pro definitely preferred to sort of play that more as a standard setup, just because that's what their strongest composition has always been. So for Citadel Gaming, maybe using this chance, like whilst it is a group game, we're seeing in the round robin for Group B, there's not much stock added onto it other than seeding. Citadel using it as a chance to get familiar with some of the other compositions that we are starting to see here in Atlanta.
That Citadel point is still going to be important.
I'm going to download, but because I don't know if Streamladder is going to work.
Once again, for that seeding. OUG currently hovering something a little bit more aggressive. We'll see if that makes it out the door with the Thor and the Wolverine. There we go, swapping off of that. But there is a chance that is just for the Penny Mine setup for that extra armor with the Rocket Network team up.
Yeah, it didn't work. Okay.
They've got great range here. While they don't have Invisible Woman,
I didn't think it would.
They do have the Zootopia backline to give them both incredible healing output, plus a little bit of pre-armor in theory if they want to do it. And they have backline harassment from Polly, of course, but this time on the Angela instead of the Captain America to keep the pressure onto OUG as Molad tries to step out of spawn, gets burst, but is going to be able to tank on through thanks to that Iron Bulwark.
It's a bit of a switch around with how these teams idealistically have tried to approach them at Citadel Gaming, trying to go for, like you sort of mentioned, the Zootopia backline, but very much these hit scan characters trying to go in for these fights. The chaos is already happening, having got the other streams so far, but for OUG, able to get the first pick onto Enzo, but a be right back means that he's going to be back into this engagement, just on the edge of OUG, actually taking the objective. There's one player that's actually come through, that's actually found his way to stall in for Citadel Gaming. For OUG, however, they're just on the precipice of taking this point for the first time.
Polly's able to tank on through. Quick update for the other stream. Chopper Bag just beat Envy in a 2-1, basically making it near impossible for Envy to qualify for the playoffs, and Chopper Bag basically secured. It comes down to those last few games, so make sure to check that out as well. But over here, Melio going to be picked off by Molan Ran on the first ball, going in with the Soul Rejuvenation, pushing on to the point to try and control this. OUG trying to get control, trying to show that they are still here to fight. If they can't qualify, they're taking you down with them. Alex falls, Ken falls, and they are trying to push back Citadel.
Looking for their first series win so far in their groups. OUG were looking to be the team that was going to take the point first if it wasn't for Citadel just having enough tenacity to be able to fight back. It's their common identity, I suppose, something that we see consistently from them in EMEA.
Damn, Marvel has the coaching to get views. Low key, I was thinking the same
Melio and
thing.
Tanuki both looking to find flanks and crossfires from each other, and maybe some space for that Horn of Proteus to come through. Alongside
like,
a
why the
potential
hell-
damage boost from Alex
like,
now, is that Jan Amplifier is
think-
available and
Here's the thing,
ready to use for Citadel Gaming as they're trying to take back this point.
Cosmic Yarn Amplifier plus the
Get
Horn
it?
of Proteus is essentially a one-shot for anyone. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier going to be dropped a little bit early for the protection against
I
Molan
get it.
Ran,
I'm
with
very
Flash
aware
enough
that,
to
like,
burn on through with them being taken
the
down,
majority of this
creating
player
1-2%
base
switch.
is
Massive failure
probably,
on
like,
buying at least a little bit of time for OUG to
maybe
contest
people
it.
that
But
just
here they
really
come
care
with the
about
Heaven's Descent, Horn of
Marvel and
Proteus
like the
into
MCU and want
Melio,
to play as their
sieging
favorite
away with the
characters,
Goddess of
and
Death,
not many
and
people
OUG
want to
are
play
routed.
this game.
It's a nice
Competitively,
combination.
but, like,
Polly's had a lot of his
I just feel like with
characters
such
taken
a
out of the
high
role from
player base, to
OUG,
see such a
but the times that we
low,
have seen him play Angela have been
I guess, turnout
perfectly fine,
of
terrific even. For OUG, 52% on the
esport
board. Citadel looking to try and claw it
interested
back,
people.
and there
is
is a
kinda-
seduction available for
kind of
Dewey,
unfortunate,
but not too much
honestly.
else. Quite a lot was used in that fight. And OUG going the triple strategist, actually going for some Ultron play with Taro Cookie, with so many teams moving away from a recently,
Marvel
not
has
even
the
nerfed,
coaching.
but like buffed in some areas, reverted changes for OUG's Ultron. The Rage of Ultron is going to be
Damn,
available for this next fight. It's just whether they can actually get a pick, as Citadel Gaming not afraid to go for this engagement. They're not sat back waiting. They're
Damn,
forward
Marvel.
facing and holding with their own Psionic Seduction available for Enzo.
A little bit aggressive there from Tanuki, is going to get picked off. Melio goes down at the same time, both getting caught out here. Tanuki will revive at the Battle Rebirth Beacon, means they can keep this pressure on as Polly is forced to back up. Able to find the pick with the Assassin, down into the Icarus Axis, and takes out Molan in the 1v1.
So the seduction is going to be used from Enzo. There's an It's Jeff from Ken that's also trying to see if he can grab onto anything. Dewey's looking in for that fight. Speaking of which, Ken now just in the back line, trying to
All
get
right.
some support and some cleave healing for all of the people are now on the objective as Tanuki has found himself too. Alongside Melio, that's half of the roster down for OUG. Not able to get any progression onto the point. It's looking at Citadel Gaming. Might have to force out a portal play from OUG to actually touch. Yeah, Mullenman is going to switch over.
DRP utilizing the Emma team up there to just make sure they can avoid Melio shots and land the final hit. Portal is forced out from Molan Rad to give OUG one last chance on this defense in the first point as they're trying to zone away Citadel. But
oh, I gotta turn off speaker too.
Up here with the double fish on the high ground to siege away. Push up from Molan to try and create some zoning potential. Enzo gets locked down, who's currently holding the point for that 99. Overtime beginning to tick down. Mash with the fate of both worlds. No defensive ultimates yet ready for Citadel Gaming, meaning that we will start to see OUG creep ahead in terms of the sustain. Unless the burst comes out, Tanuki takes down Svolb.
So far, Citadel holding on nicely.
Damn,
OUG
Marvel has
running out of options here. Zabira back is being used. Heaven's Descent has found Polly another pick in the end as Vald. Nowhere near having the invisible boundary, but there's just less people on the board for OUG to keep that front line alive. Taro Cookie is very low on HP, and the Yan Amplifier is going to allow a little bit more damage to be thrown out.
I get it.
Citadel Gaming not willing to give this up now. There's still a respite. OUG, even if
I get it. I'm very aware that like
some progression to get, but they have
the majority of this player base is probably like maybe people that just really care about Marvel and like the MCU and want to play as their favorite characters, and not many people want to play this game competitively, but like I just feel like with such a high player base to see such a low, I guess, turnout of esport
alongside Ken for the side of Citadel. So far, Svolb and Mash are suffering for that. We're talking about how they're flanking often, and of course, the strategists are the ones who
interested people. It's kind of
not to mention that
kind
you
of
have
unfortunate,
got the
honestly.
Mantis that wasn't in play at all from OUG in that last round. Now they've decided to
Marvel
try
has
to pick it up, and it makes sense, even if it wasn't really
the,
as like hard meta as it seems to be at the moment.
The text gets a little fucked up at the end, but
it's so good to have the name on the Hela because
it's
there's
fine.
So many open sight lines, the crossfires, just the bunkering that can set you up once you take that point first. But
it gets a little fucked up at the end, but it's okay.
It's just Melio that has got that Goddess of Death hand. Alex, not too far away from having another Yam amplify themselves.
They're going to have a huge amount of burst damage, and you look at what OUG have to deal with that. 60% on the Soul Rejuvenation from Svolb, Mash 20% towards a Fate of Both Worlds, meaning that they do not have any kind of...
Someone said, why ban Jeff? He's not that overpowered. Oh, he doesn't know.
Not even needing a Cosmic Yard Amplifier here, it's just going to go into that Goddess of Death. The Mind Aegis will block it. Magnetic Curtain also blocking a little bit of the damage, and they are just not finding much here.
No, it seems to just losing Polly out in that fight just sort of took some of the wind out of the sails, and even Melio gets taken off from across the map. Bierback is going to bring him in, and Polly now returning into this engagement after going down first on this second point, able to find a trade on the other side. Soul Resurgence used then from Svolb. Two of your teammates have just gone down, including you. So OUG maybe having an opportunity there to try and
download.
Gaming, it flounders.
Sick.
Alright,
cool.
Now
I will... Let's see if it says anything. Okay. We are going to upload to YouTube first.
But they have to make sure that they can try and get it when Citadel are on the point. But Citadel, their composition is built around not being on the point. It's built around just picking you from sides, and that's exactly what we're seeing there.
I believe it's this one. I'm gonna hope it's this one.
Having your Vanguard to be so pushed up and aggressive, both strategists being high mobility, able to get you in and out of fights as and when needed, and then your two duelists just sat 2 postcodes away, being able to do chip damage from a very safe position. I wonder how many eliminations have gone against Melio and Tanuki at this rate. Enzo, though, takes the full brunt of it, but
actually, no, I'll do this.
Thing that happens for Citadel Gaming, if there's one pick that goes against them, Polly somehow finds another on the other side.
OUG's hand was forced there as the Jeff came in from Ked, was avoided by Mash with the Fate of Both Worlds, and that meant that OUG had to push up, and they've already been able to get 2, but they have not been able to flip the point. As the portal comes back in, Citadel...
That's not how you spell esports.
Here. They're just going to be able to reinforce it. Polly will be able to come through that portal quite quickly, as long as Enzo stays up in this fight. There was a chance they could contest this. It looks like OUG might fight...
I think this is the right one. Why is it taking so long to... Wait, I want to see this.
Melio goes down. Damage output is just removed from Citadel, and OUG are fine.
As a counterattack, because then Alex was a little...
I hope that's the right one uploaded.
So at least there's still some stuff for Citadel Gaming to work with as they try and retake this point. But it's hard enough. With everything that you just mentioned about what makes Citadel Gaming's comp so good, it repeats on the other side because it's pretty much a mirrored composition for OUG to be working with too.
The difference being they don't have a Jeff, as an example, who can also assist in those flanks, but what they do have is the Mantis to damage boost that Hela, keep that pressure on. Melio, though, is going to Astral Flock aggressively onto the point. Goddess of Death drops down, and suddenly they're completely vulnerable, going to be taken out here. Polly, though, was able to use the distraction to take out Spawn, and Enzo takes the 1v1 versus Do. Ked is up on the high ground, sending in the joyful splash for as much sustain as possible. And while we did see Citadel come out pretty well in that fight, they weren't able to take any positioning. Alex brings back Tanuki. It's Jeff. Assassin's charge. Taro is down. And they're into the backline looking for Mash, which they will get. But
I don't think that's getting picked up on my microphone, but there's some loud noise outside.
Smash that actually got a win over Citadel Gaming in Stage 2, playing for Chopped. The revenge with Citadel is a little bit later on in groups. And that fight is going to go the way of Citadel Gaming. There's still that portal play for OUG. It was Enzo that used it before on the other side, as now we're getting towards like 90%. OUG having a lot to work with if they can stall out these kind of fights, and Dewey's going to be the one that swaps over to go for a final touch of second. Could be the final touch of this first map.
For one last portal, they're going in for a flank from above. Portal onto the point, but they're getting zoned out. Polly and, of course, Keda keeping the pressure on, leaving not much of an opening. That harassment. If Taro's not sieging, then where's the reinforcement? But on the actual point, Polly is dropping low here. Molat is creating a huge amount of a distraction here, but it's picked off into the twin. Hornabronius, Melio double setting up beautifully. And suddenly the numbers for UG aren't looking that good. There's no BRB.
Damn, Marvel has the coach. Okay, so it's the right one.
Will buy a little bit of time, but the silent seduction will potentially pull them in. Media M finds no target, and Enzo goes into melee. Carbon Crush to lock him down. Heaven Descent! Tidal Surge prevents all healing. Groups,
you know what also is crazy? That you can just promote your video.
Off the point, and they are taken down. That is going to be map number 1.
Like,
Citadel Gaming.
Yeah, Citadel Gaming, we've sort of known them as being pretty good at domination, but this event, certainly the last couple of days, has not really gone in their favor, with all of these games pretty much going to
it's so crazy.
Able to win up against OUG, who's been pesky in the right areas, and doing it in a different style. We've been seeing almost Tanuki exclusively on a strategist with these kind of...
I don't know, that's crazy to me. The whole promotion thing.
Now that we see that sort of 2-2-2 setup,
is it uploaded?
It's looking a lot sharper from him, and OUG not really having too much of a response. Eliminations, it's a complete difference.
You can see that
I don't use TikTok anymore, but I will still upload to this.
Mostly even until you get to the strategist, and that's where the difference is. Alex and Ken are staying safe while joining their teams on flank. The power of this kind of Zootopia backline, where you can be so mobile, follow up when needed. You saw Ken there in that last fight for a bit, just keeping Polly healed up while fighting on the point, and then just quickly retreating to rejoin their team. And that's where the value is coming in. 21k healing and 25k healing compared to 12k healing and 26. While Mantis healing output is a little bit lower, there is still, of course, the need to make sure that your Vanguards are topped up.
Yeah, they were also on a different strategist because it was 3 of them as well, as we saw Taro play the Ultron. So, yeah, even then it still seems pretty small for Svelte.
Still doesn't add up.
Yeah, it's where you're going to try and find those picks. But so far for Citadel...
That's actually crazy that got 1,100 views.
...that we've been seeing, able to sort of show quite a lot with the different compositions. Not that I ever think the Citadel are like a one-dimensional team, but it's just that what they've been playing so far has been very, like, standard.
Damn, Marvel has the coaching to get views. Low-key, I was...
able to get such a good read on them in the end, like knowing what map Citadel would like to take you to with Yggdrasil, knowing the kind of priorities they put in the draft and trying to get a one-sided Jeff. Citadel Gaming using this game, which really only means for seeding, as a way to try out stuff and show that they aren't just a one-trick pony that they might be seeming at this event.
It's really good to see Citadel starting to spread their wings a little bit. We have seen them play like similar competitions to this, but like you said, they are evolving, they are changing throughout this, and honestly, overall Ultra Gaming are making them work for it as usual, but Citadel, this is very strong looking in terms of performance from them.
I imagine OUG have been loving to go to Midtown, but that's not a bad map for Citadel Gaming either. They love a sort of nighttime...
Wait, why is it also recording a video? What the hell?
It's been a map that's gone well with them for the most part, albeit we've not seen that much of it in Stage 2 in comparison to Stage 1.
I was to hit record by accident.
Qualified them for the mid-season finals. So at least there, it's like OUG, they have the choice to take us somewhere a little bit different, see if they can maybe throw in a curveball, knowing that Citadel Gaming's results on Jalia haven't been great. Maybe that's a choice. Maybe that's a choice.
It could be an option, like you said. Well, Jalia hasn't been their best performance, that could be, but we haven't seen it as much from OUG, so we've got a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. We're not even going to make you wait. We're making up for the time that we had in those previous series on some of the other days where we had some teething issues, and we are just going to bring you straight into it, and it is going to be Midtown. OUG, like clockwork at this point.
Yeah, Citadel Gaming haven't played it so far at this event, but like, usually they would go to Yggdrasil for one, but also it is just usually like the convoy game mode full stop, whether it's Araco, whether it's Midtown. That's always worked really, really well for Citadel Gaming no matter what. It just seems to be the way that they're able to just keep stalling fights, keep Polly standing on an objective for 7 minutes, those kind of things.
They have
but also
strategies as well.
Yeah. So, like, you know, fair play to both the teams because there's only really just bragging rights for OUG and Citadel to play for, Citadel for seeding. Both teams are like, let's just go into it straight away. Like, let's not wait around. We don't need to talk strats. Let's just send it.
Tanuki, don't tease me with that Black Panther. We have not seen at this event so far, as it seems to be Daredevil and even for one game Magic who have taken the role of those melee duelists in these first setups. But this is the map where OUG have been busting out the Iron Fist basically every single time. Citadel just going to ban it out, because at this point, that Iron Fist has been problematic, and while some teams have dealt with it, you don't get a lot of chances to practice versus Iron Fist. But now, though, we're sticking standard, we're not going to see Mantis on either side, but Citadel, they could guarantee themselves a one-sided Emma Frost here.
A Protect on Magneto first is something, I suppose, like, for DRP, I'd say mostly, but, like, I feel like Venom would be such a...
Shields for Iron Fist, potentially?
Probably, or just to go for like the mitigation, protect the president as much as you possibly can. But Citadel Gaming, going for something that we are seeing a lot more outside of like one-sided Mantis to one-sided Jeff, is like the Emma Frost. So this time...
I've seen enough. It is time to get to work. Where's the game? I see Rivals Launcher. I cannot switch the window. Hello? There we go. That was weird. Let's do some pubs.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
So like, here's the thing. I really want to play Mantis. Honestly, I might be on Kick instead of YouTube.
Life energy. People often mistake empathy for weakness.
Just do that. Sorry, I don't know if anyone's watching on YouTube. If you are,
Feel empathy for an enemy and still destroy them.
I'm sorry, but kind of hoping maybe you can head over to Twitch
Ready?
or what the?
I'm afraid this battle may be far beyond
Or
the
unfortunately,
scope of
possibly
the
even Kick.
Hey, I was the host for a powerful cosmic entity for a hot minute too, you know.
Yes, the Enigma Force. I can still feel the faintest of traces on you.
If I'm just being honest.
Power like that's
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,